Good morning. Thank you for joining me to learn about the OPAC. It's the patrons side of things. This is great timing because we did recently upgrade to a new version of the OPAC, also known as the BPAC. So you might hear me say both OPAC and BPAC. They will mean the same thing. So let's take a look at the new catalog. My name is Britta Dorsey. I am the Development Support Administrator for Evergreen, Indiana. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, today we are looking at the OPAC. We are going to cover briefly how patrons can request library cards through the OPAC. We're doing a deep dive with the My Account feature where patrons can manage their own account. There will be an overview of navigating through the new catalog interface. We are going to take a very brief look at the types of holds that patrons can place, how they can use baskets, and we are also going to look at lists, which could be compared maybe to our record buckets. And then if there is time, we are going to look at the Evergreen Indiana app. If not, the slides are still in the PDF for you. To start off, we need to access the OPAC. To do so, we use the URL evergreen.lib.in.us. And when it loads, there are several things to look at. First and most obvious are the two carousels that rotate through the New York Times best-selling hardcover fiction and nonfiction. You can use the next and previous buttons to manually move through those carousels. We also have easy access to begin a basic search of the catalog. We can filter by type, format, and the library. The header of the OPAC provides links to the About Us page of the evergreenindiana.org website, Inspire, information about the Evergreen Indiana app, a map so patrons can find their closest consortium library, and a link to resources available through the consortium. This is also where they can log into the OPAC to manage their account. The footer includes links to the Indiana State Library and a request to library card link, which is what we're looking at next. Clicking on the request to library card link will take the user to a request a library card form. They will select their home library from the dropdown and then fill in at minimum, the required fields. Then once they submit, using the submit registration button at the bottom, they will be told that they need to visit their selected library within 7 days to complete the registration process and possibly receive their card. This form will appear in the web client's pending patrons module and is not required to be used by libraries. I always want to reiterate that it is not required to use this feature of Evergreen. I do want to note that a subcommittee of the patron services has been working really hard on updating the circulation policy. So this information right here may change later this year. All right, the big My Account, it's where the magic happens. So the OPAC is made up of the catalog and the My Account feature, which allows patrons to log into their Evergreen Indiana accounts and manage their materials, bills, search preferences, holds, and lists. When we click on My Account in the top right corner of the web page, a pop-up will ask us to enter our library card number and PIN, or password. The card number should be entered without any spaces, and while it doesn't actually say it right now, it does still accept an account holder's username. So you can enter the library card number or username of the account. If you access the OPAC from home, you may wish to select the Stay Logged In feature, so you don't have to enter your credentials every time you access the OPAC. And then patrons can also request a card by clicking this button um, if they don't have a card yet. And then if they forget their password, they can use the forgot your password link. When they've entered their data, they will just click login. Upon login, the My Account Summary page loads. This is where patrons can quickly see how many items they have checked out or on hold, and if any are ready for pickup. It's a hub that will give the patron access to anywhere they need to go. I do want to note that the e-items links don't work and will not keep track of circulating e-resources. So whether if the patron checks out materials on Overdrive or Hoopla or any of your library's resources, they will not show up here. But all of the other My Account functions, short of searching the catalog and placing holds, will take place in this area. And so let's start at the top with the list or with bills. So the first option in bills is current charges. We can see the total amount owed on the account just by looking at the charges link. If we click on it on the current charges option, we will see a breakdown of each separate bill, how much is owed, the billing type, any notes attached, and the date the bill was added. Patrons will have the option to pay towards a specific bill or pay all of the bills associated with their account. The amount showing on the pay selected charges will change depending on what bills are selected. The value payment systems or VPS page will load where the patron will enter their payment details. I do want to note that there are surcharges and percentages depending on the type of payment the account user uses. Payment history will list all payments made in the patron account. They can print the receipt or email a copy to the address they have on file. Messages is where patrons can see the notes or alerts library staff have added to their account and have made them patron visible. The number of unread messages will appear in this account menu, as well as at the top of the OPAC page next to the My Account link. And these will only appear if the patron is logged in. If they click the read button, it's going to open the message. And then from here, they will read said message and then return to the message list. They can mark it as unread or even delete it. Remember, though, that once a message has been read by the patron via the OPAC, we cannot delete it from the staff client unless they mark it as unread. In this example, we have a copy of that note from the web client view, and the column read date time shows that it has been read. And so if we try to right click on it or go to actions, the remove note will be grayed out and be unclickable. Patrons are able to see what items they have checked out, when they're due, and how many possible renewals remain for that item. Again, the e-items checked out option, it will take you to that screen, but there will be nothing visible on that page. To request a renewal, we need to select the item from the list and click Renew Selected. A pop-up is going to ask us if we are sure we want to renew. Clicking OK will attempt to renew the item or items. In this example, you can see one of the items renewed successfully while one failed because the copy is needed to fulfill a hold. Checkout history, while a setting does need to be enabled in order to actually see the checkout history, this menu option is where we will view those items. It's only going to show the history after the setting was actually enabled, and then patrons won't be able to see beyond that in the OPAC. Items on the holds list, or items on hold, will list all holds on the patron's account. Again, those e-item links don't work. We can manually suspend or activate holds and cancel holds from the OPAC. If you click on the edit button for a title, it's going to allow us to change the pickup library, notification type, and also suspend the hold until a specific date. The holds history option works like the checkout history function, where it requires an enabled setting. It will show your current holds and future holds after the date of activation. Patrons can view what hold groups they are part of and remove themselves if they no longer want to participate in them. They can't perform any other action than that. In preferences, the first one option is personal information. Patrons can see pertinent information like their account data, contact information, and address on file. They are only allowed to change their username, password, and email address, but they are also their preferred language if they prefer to have their notices sent to them in a different language other than English. Anything else they wish to update, they will need to contact their home library. Notification preferences will set default notifications for each hold placed. They can choose to be notified by email, phone, text, or a mix of these. If they want a text notification, they must enter the mobile number and select the default mobile carrier from the dropdown. If they don't receive the notification, make sure that the default mobile carrier is selected, and it should not matter if they have hyphens or not in the mobile number. You can always send a text message to make sure that that the system is reading that number correctly. And then they also can select whether or not they want the email checkout receipts by default. So when they check out material, they will not receive a paper copy. And then if they want to receive those overdue and courtesy emails. And then any changes made, they will want to click save. If there are holds placed on the account and changes are made to the notification preferences, it's going to ask if you want to update the notifications set for those current holds. And you can they will check mark this option if they want to change those holds to match your updated preferences, and then click update or just continue without updating. Search and history preferences is where we can change how many results we see per catalog search result page, what our preferred search location is, and our preferred pickup location. This is also where we can enable the history of checked out items and the holds option. I will note this skip warning when adding to temporary book list. I'm pretty sure this was used mostly before the basket function, because I also know when we add materials to baskets, there is no warning that pops up. So until I can find more information, I am assuming that this doesn't work unless someone right now today has or is able to use it and knows that it does work. Any changes, of course, we want to click save. While we don't manage our lists under preferences, we do configure how many lists we can see per page, as well as how many items are visible on each page. In this section, we are going to look at searching the catalog, how to use the filters, and a very quick refresher on how to place holds, because we can't have an OPAC without the OC. Basic search, which is available when you first load the OPAC, allows users to perform a search as soon as they access the OPAC. They are limited to searching using type or like keyword search, title, author, etc. Format like all books, all movies and television, audiobooks, playaways, etc., and the library. Many times libraries will have their in-house OPAC set to search their library by default first. That can easily be changed by selecting another library from the dropdown or clicking all libraries after entering their search parameters. Advanced search allows for a more granular search. We can use multiple input fields and Boolean options. Below the input fields are the search filters to help narrow down or broaden the search. These are the same filters we use in the staff catalog, but since they're formatted a little differently, let's take a look at these in action while we perform an advanced search. So let me bring up the MIG OPAC. All right, so let's say I am a student writing a paper on a famous singer and I choose to write about Judy Garland. As someone who doesn't really know about authorities or how names are handled in bib records, I'm just going to enter Judy Garland, if I can spell correctly, in a keyword search. I can either leave the, oh no, we were doing advanced search. All right, so I'm just going to enter Judy Garland in the keyword. I can leave the title input field or remove it. It's not going to affect the search if you leave it, as long as it's blank. Now I want to select the item format because I assume her music will appear, but I'm looking for books about her. So I'm going to select all books as my item format filter. For audience, I'm going to try adult and teen young adult. I don't, if there are any like those Who Was, Judy Garland, if there's a Who Was book, I don't really, I can't really use that for my paper. So I'm not going to select juvenile or preteen. Let's skip over shelving location because I don't know where they would keep these books. And since I'm writing a paper about Judy Garland, I need biographical information. So under literary form, I'm going to select nonfiction, and I'm going to ignore language. I am at my local library and want to see what they have first before I try to request a hold from another library. So I'm going to select Adams Decatur. And I need physical copies. So I'm going to exclude electronic resources and limit to available because I'm on a timeline. So let's click submit. All right. So we've performed our first search. So let's break down the screen. At the top, we have our original search input, which allows us to immediately perform a new search if we want to. Below that is the list of filters that we used. If we click on the X next to a particular filter, it's going to remove it and then refresh the search without using that filter. We can also sort our results by title, author, pub date, and popularity. We can go back and adjust our original search parameters and see if our remaining selected filters of excluding e-resources and limit to available. Now, when we look at the actual results, we see some details about the title itself, including the format, publication information, and physical description. We can also see library information. Since we selected a specific library, holdings information is appearing below the pub data. Below that, we have consortium data. How many other holdings are available on this specific bib record. And then we can see the system and then the branch level from our selected library. To the left are facets. This is information pulled from the search results, MARC records, or the bib records that can help narrow down, in this example, by personal author, topic subject, or name subject. Last but not least, we have the ability to place a hold directly from the search results, or if we're wanting to place multiple holds during a single session, we can save time by using a basket. Okay, let's go back to my original search results. I have only 3 results, and only one is specifically about Judy Garland. So let's adjust our filters to see if we get any more results. Remember, when we remove a filter, it's automatically going to perform a new search. So I'm going to remove the audience filter and see it's doing its thing. All right, so now we have 5 results. Let's also change the target from just Decatur to all of Evergreen. So I'm going to select Evergreen, Indiana from the library selector dropdown. And if we change anything up here, we do need to click search again to rerun the search. And now we have a larger list of results. We, of course, have the publication information, um, and the library holdings if there is, so just one of one copy. So we see Rochdale's copy on this record. If you remember in the staff catalog, we have that show more details button, which allows us to view more library holdings data. In the OPAC, I have found that this is on by default. So we can click the show fewer details button to hide that holdings data. It's still going to show how many copies are on that specific record though. And as long as we stay in this particular search, or maybe even during this particular login session, it's going to stay active. If you refine your original search or go back to advanced search, it is going to turn back on. We can point out the facets over here. So let's see, of course, we have different authors who have written these different titles, topic subjects. Some of these are part of series and name subjects. So these are really useful when you'd like to narrow down the results within the results. You're not starting a new search, which is really helpful. The number next to the facet, let me make this a little bigger. The number next to the facet tells us how many records out of our total results have that particular subject or author within the MARC record. For example, we have this name subject for Judy Garland, but she's only popping up as a name subject in 33 out of the, I think it was 68 results. It doesn't mean the other 30 plus results aren't about Judy. It's just that she was not added as a name subject to those records. If we click on a facet, it's going to show those results. See, we have that now. We're seeing results 1 out of 10 of 33. And so we can look at those titles. If we want to go back, we can just click on that facet again, and it should take us back to our full results list. So when we click on a result, we have a few things that we can look at. We have the results navigation that will allow us to move between our results. We have record details, including title, summary. We can click more details to show more physical information, content, and subject headings and genre. We can see how many copies are available on this record, as well as the number of holds currently placed. And then we see the holdings on the record. And then below that are the drawers. This is information taken from Novelist and Baker and Taylor that include read-alikes. There are similar authors. There's some Goodreads reviews linked. There's additional content. We also have a shelf browser, which will take the call numbers from the that are on that bib record and show you similar titles that match or that are close to that call number. And then we also had a link to the MARC record, or other catalogs might call it staff view. Quick overview of the types of holds that can be placed in the OPAC. We have meta records, which allow us to place a hold across multiple formats for the same title to attach to the first available copy, regardless of format. When they access the placehold page, they will select their desired format. And if there are multiple languages available, they will select that as well. The title level hold, the most common type is where you place a hold on a single bibliographic record for the first available copy. And then part level holds. This will allow patrons to select a specific part or a specific holding part on a single bibliographic record. These are usually found on serials records and movies and television, or records with multiple holdings like encyclopedias. There are some manga records that have multiple, um, just like a single record for an entire series, so parts are used. So they have to select, it says optional, but we do have the ability now to require that a hold or a part is selected. So they will select it from their list and then attempt to place a hold. One of the ways that if they wanted to place multiple holds at once, we can see this quite a bit with parents or guardians who might be homeschooling. They like to, or just parents really like to place a hold on a number of children's books at a time. Or if someone is reading a series and they want the first few books or all of the books, we have a feature, the basket feature, that allows us to place multiple holds at one time. And it can be really useful in both the staff catalog and the OPAC. It also allows us to save titles to a list or even email them to ourselves. It's always good to keep in mind that baskets, similar in the web client, that baskets are temporary. If a patron logs out, it's likely their basket is going to empty automatically. So let's add some titles to a basket, and then we will look at what we can do with them. So I am going to, let's start a new advanced search. I'm just going to do basic. So I am going to, well, let's just do a basic search. I think it'll be easier to view. So I am rereading some of the Sarah J. Maas books because a new one has come out and I can't remember anything. So I'm just going to enter her here. I'm going to change the type to author. So it's going to search for this this phrase, this name within the author fields in a bib record. I want to use all books as the format. And then I'm going to narrow it down to, let's go with Thorntown. And then now I'm going to click search. All right. Okay. Well, let's see if I did this earlier. Okay, well, let's try. Oh, it's the filter. So that's something to note. If a patron, um, after performing a search, they try to do a new one and they've used filters or used these optional filters as well, they're likely going to stick until they either log out or reset it. So let's try this again. Go back to Thorntown, search, because I know they have these books. All right, so we have 16 results. 1 out of 10 are visible right now. So I'm just going to select all of these. I am going to uncheck the Catwoman because it's not part of the ACOTAR world. And then let's go to the next page real quick so I can show you that these check marks are going to stick. Those the items are going to stay in your basket or stay selected until you log out or it resets itself. So we can still see there are 9 selected, and up here we can see there are 9 titles still in my basket. So I'm going to select the remaining. And so now we have 15 results. So what can we do with the basket actions? And this is what appears when you click on that little basket icon. If we click view basket, it's going to show the contents in a brief list with only the title, author, and local call number if the library you searched under has a copy. From here, we can place a hold on all or just titles we want to select. So if your basket has a series in it, you may want to just place a hold on the first 2 titles instead of the whole series. Patrons can also print or email the list or add the contents to a new list or move them to a list that you have already created. If you're already logged into the OPAC, you will be taken to the place holds page. If you click place holds in the basket actions menu, each title will be listed and your default notification settings will be set. You can choose to clear the basket after holds are requested by check marking this box, and then clicking submit will go through each title to see if a hold can be placed. It might be a little slow if you are requesting a nice sized list. And there's a comment, I love the basket feature. I wholeheartedly agree. It is super useful. Print title details. If you click on this option, you will be taken to a confirmation screen if you select it from the basket actions menu. Otherwise, you will be taken to a page that allows you to confirm what you want to print, and so then you will select print now. If you select email title details from the basket menu, you will also be taken to a confirmation screen. Then you'll be able to confirm the email address you want to send the list to, a custom subject if you want one. From my testing, there is no visible difference between a brief format and a full format. So I'm not sure. So I assume you can probably leave this be. You can sort the list before you email it, whether by author ascending or title, whatever, and then just click update if you change anything of the above. And then when you're ready, here's a preview of what the email is going to look at. It already has a subject of bibliographic records, but the custom email subject will replace that if you enter something. When you're ready, you will just click email now or return if you decide not to. Add basket to saved list will take you to your lists page where you can create a new list on the fly and add the basket's contents or add the basket to an existing list. If you want to start afresh after adding them to a list, you will want to make sure that the clear entire basket option when the above action is complete button is checked. Clear basket, pretty self-explanatory. It'll does want to confirm that you want to remove all of the titles from the basket, and you will just click confirm to clear the basket or cancel if you decide you want to keep those titles in there. Lists are, in my opinion, what I like to think of them as the OPAC's version of a Goodreads shelf with maybe a little more action available. You can keep track of titles you want to read, have read. If you're part of a book club, you can keep track of those titles using a list and then placing a hold on them when the time comes to read them. You can share your lists with others, or if you're so inclined, download a CSV copy of the list and edit the spreadsheet to your heart's content. To view your lists or create a new one, we need to click on the My Lists menu option. If you do not have a list already, you will be asked if you want to create one. Enter the name of the new list and an optional description. Share this list will provide a link that you can share with others. This can be changed later if you decide not to share it when you first create it. And when you're ready, you will click Create List. As you're looking at your lists, you can see several options available beneath the title and description if you added one. If you chose to share your list, the share button right here will change to hide, and an extra button to view and catalog the link you'll share will appear here. Again, you can download a CSV file, change your default list, um, delete the list, and edit the list. If you select view and catalog, whether to share the link or to just look yourself, your list will appear as if you just performed a search in the catalog. You can use the search input fields above to search within the list. Just make sure you select the search only within the chosen list. Otherwise, this is going to search all of the library or all of Evergreen if you have Evergreen selected. It's not going to search just within your list, so you need to make sure you check mark that option. You can sort your results by author, title, popularity. You can show more details of your titles. You can also place individual holds, re-add to a basket, or add to another list. This is useful if you do share the link, so the new user or your friend who also has an Evergreen Indiana account can place a hold from here or add the title to their own list. This is completely separate. This is our own customized app for Evergreen Indiana. This will still be available after we release or go live with Aspen. So it's still going to be used. So let's take a look at it. We can download the Evergreen Indiana app from the Google Play Store for Android devices or the App Store for iOS devices. You will log in with your username or library barcode and password. The forgot your password link will open your device's browser for the patron to submit the password reset form. Patrons can perform basically all actions in the app as if they were viewing their account on a computer, just in a more mobile-friendly format. They can search the catalog and place holds, manage the items they have out and request renewals. They can view their finds and begin the payment process. They also have access to their lists. They can manage them and create new ones. A feature that many may use, and if your library accepts them as an alternative option, is the digital copy of their library card, of their library barcode. Patrons also have the ability to manage multiple accounts under the app. By clicking on the profile icon, they can choose to add an account. They're going to enter the account's credentials so that the next time they log in, they can select which profile they wish to view by clicking on that profile icon. The account that is grayed out is going to be the one that is currently active. You can also see a little check mark next to the patron's barcode right here. Patrons do not need to be part of the same group in order to use this function. They just need the patron's login credentials. Library info also we have access to either our home library or our preferred library. It will show the library's hours of operation, contact information, and address. Oh, it's right here. Based on your org unit settings is what will appear for your home library contact information. To manage this information, you will adjust this in the org unit settings under your branch or system level. This is the digital representation of your card. It also tells you when your account is going to expire. Items out will show the patron what material they currently have checked out on their account, how many renewals are left, and the date the item is due. If there are no renewals remaining on an item, the renew button is going to be grayed out. If they do click on the renew button, they are asked to confirm the renewal. If they click on the little arrow for a title, they will be taken to the item details page where they can see a copy of the copy information for all libraries with holdings or add the title to one of their lists. Place hold will be grayed out if they already have the item checked out from that specific record. Search, they are limited to search type and format filtering. From here, they can place items on hold, view copy information, and add records to a list. Holds will allow patrons to manage any holds placed on their account. They can see the status of a hold, the number of holds across the number of holdings, and their position in the queue. Selecting one of the holds will bring up the options to cancel the hold, edit, or show details. Show details will take them to the item details page, like we saw earlier under items out. Edit hold will allow them to change notification settings, pickup location, and suspend the hold. Cancel hold will ask them to confirm the cancellation. In the app, we can manage our current lists by removing the titles, deleting the lists, and creating new ones. We can't share them though from here because there's no way to grab the RSS link, which is what we used originally in the older OPAC. So first, let's place a hold after searching the catalog. So let's play this one. So we clicked search, and then we're entering our search term, changing the type and the format, and we are searching within. We can change and say to Evergreen, Indiana, and then we're doing a search. And then we will go through the results and pick the one that best suits what we are looking for. And then from here, you can place a hold, look at copy information, add to your list, and the holds will be successfully placed. And then add to list. I do want to note that when you place holds through the app, it's not going to, if you like click place hold multiple times, it's going to place a hold multiple times. So if someone comes in and they have like 4 copies of the third Harry Potter book on the hold shelf for them, they say, I only needed 1. Why did they send me 4? That could be a reason why. Question, are patrons able to turn on and view their checkout history through the app? No, it does not look like they can. They would have to log in to the OPAC on a computer or call their home library. All right, so let's look at how we can place a hold from a list. So we're going to click on My Lists and then select a list with the titles we want. Go through here and pick the title we want to request, and then place hold. Make sure our notification information is good, and then hold successfully placed. So let's take a quick look at the My Lists function in the app. So first, we are going to create a list after we access the My Lists by clicking the plus sign. We want to enter a title and then click create. If we click the edit button at the top, we can delete a list that we created and then confirm. And then to remove that, you can just click done again. When we open the list, we can select a title and view the record, place a hold, or add it to another list. We also have the ability to sort from A to Z or in reverse based on the title, author, or pub date. And that's using these arrow and filter option. And you can also remove titles as well. Fines will list each bill on their account with the total owed, total amount paid toward those bills, and the balance owed. From here, they cannot select which bills to pay. I believe they still have to pay the entirety of their bill. But if they do click pay fines, they will likely have to log in again. A feature that I found if people have trouble typing, there is an option with most smart devices to use the talk to text feature to search the catalog. They will need to tap on the search field first and then press their microphone option in order to speak the search words that they are looking for. All right, are there any questions? Yes, yes, we can. There was a request um, to see how we could use buckets and lists to manage book clubs. Also, I think what might be useful is to look at hold groups. That might also be something we want to look at to help manage book clubs. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.